story behind my loss of vision is a very, very hard story to discuss sometimes. Because what happened basically is this: I thought I had the beginnings of cataracts. This is a subtle type disease that I have. I have macular degeneration of the retinas. As I was actually believing that I had cataracts, and I was trying to just look through it till I could get to a doctor. And when I was driving down the ramp on 85, the light hit my eyes. And much the same as most people, when the light hits their eyesight, it temporarily blinds them and then adjusts back. But what happened to me is when the light hit my eyesight, it didn't adjust back as rapidly. It scared me, and I pulled over to the side of the ramp and sat and turned off the car, hoping that my eyesight would readjust back. It never did. At Grady, they looked at my eyesight, examined. I sat in there for about 12 hours. And they realized that I had lost my sight through the testing and everything. They sent me home. For 2 months, I actually maintained total blindness. I had no knowledge of how to dial a telephone, cook. I had no way of reaching anyone. I was completely alone. That's when I started to understand that there was more out there than myself. There are powers that are greater than myself. And I began to believe. I started believing I was going to be okay. And I got to Grady Hospital again for my next appointment. And at Grady, they, of course, the typical doctors, they don't want to build up your hopes because they don't know what can be done. They just follow through with their practice and procedures. They began to inject my right eye because the left eye they felt like was too damaged. And what happens with macular degeneration of the retinas is that there's a hemorrhaging in the ocular walls. I have on my left eye is almost like a total eclipse, or actually a circle of my eye that's completely covered. I can see around it. I can't tell anything, but I know that there is light there. On the right side of my eye, on my right eye, it is almost like having 3/4 of an eclipse, or if you looked at the face of a clock, where the hands point at 12 and 3, the space that's between the hands of 12 and 3 is where my vision actually is, the field of vision I can see. The rest of the eye is totally covered. And what I'm really looking at that point is that I have to continuously train my eye and focus, because the eye is constantly moving to view to that certain area. At that point, what I see is I'll see parts of an image. I do not see a complete image. I see, therefore, my brain has to kick in and actually put a composite of different forms of the image. So it's always distorted. I never really do see a complete painting. I never really see a complete person. I cannot look at a face. I see darkness and shadows, some light, some colors, but I don't see any complete situation. What happens with this is that I do a lot of estimation, a lot of intuitive movement, a lot of intuitive thinking. From that, though, that training actually came to play with what I believe has helped me in my painting today, is that I don't really have to see. I have to paint from my mind, from my vision, and allow that to transcend into the canvas itself. Thus, there is something going on that I really can't explain sometimes. I first started painting from a television show back when I was 12 that came on, I think it was Channel 5 in Georgia. It's John Nagy Art Show. And there was this man talking about painting, about drawing. And I had no experience with it other than doodling when I was younger. My school didn't have any formalized training whatsoever. And so basically it was all exploring and developing on my own part. It was a passion. Between being outside in nature and painting, I loved being outside. I loved hiking with my dog, going out around and sketching plants and trees and different things. I finished up a degree at the University of Georgia at the same time I finished up my high school degree. And I was able to actually go on, and I left and went to Berkeley because my father did not want a hippie artist in his hands. I have evolved from doing impressionistic realism almost into a complete abstract. And the abstract comes from the fact that the way my vision is, which is more of a play of color. The colors actually fill in the volume. The motion actually is brought about by the play of light bouncing on the colors. I have always been in love with motion. Any kind of motion and power. I've always wanted to bring that out in paintings. I bring out how a color plays on light and actually reflects and creates the movement of water, of the motion, and a very serene feeling, very quiet feeling. But it does have the movement and the power that it needs. And I am fascinated with the play of movement, how everything begins and ends. Nothing stays forever. There's continuous change. And in the universe, that's how it plays. And there really isn't anything existing. It all is made up of light on gas, helium, hydrogen. All of these things causes different colors and reflections. But there's another aspect of my art that I always want, is to carry a vision. The vision of being able to, the message that anyone can do anything that they want to. There is no limitations. The limitations are only brought about by the mind and what other people say. And when you believe what other people say, it causes a crippling effect. I'm almost totally blind, and people told me I would never be able to do anything again. And here I am painting. My painting is the most important thing to carry this message. People have to always understand there is nothing that one can't do if they want to do this.